Have you ever found yourself talking to your children, sharing your thoughts and feelings, only to feel like you're talking to a wall? It's frustrating, right? You've spent years raising them, offering wisdom and love, but sometimes it feels like they just don't listen. It can leave you feeling disrespected, unheard, and even a bit lost. But here's the good news: you're not alone, and there are ways to regain that respect and start fostering better communication with your children. As we get older, relationships with our children can sometimes become more challenging. They might be busy with their own lives, caught up in their careers, or raising families of their own. It's easy to feel like your role in their lives has been minimized. But trust me, it doesn't have to be this way. You can regain respect, and more importantly, you can strengthen your bond with your children. So, what can you do to get that respect back? Well, the first step is understanding that communication is key, but it's also about setting the right tone for those conversations. One of the most important things to do is re-establish your boundaries. As seniors, it's common to feel like you need to give in to your children's wishes, especially when it comes to how they treat you. But healthy relationships rely on mutual respect, and that starts with setting clear, respectful boundaries. If they're not treating you the way you deserve, it's okay to calmly and firmly let them know. Your voice matters, and so do your feelings. Another powerful way to regain respect is to demonstrate understanding. It's easy to feel upset when your children don't seem to listen, but sometimes it's because they don't feel understood either. Try to see things from their perspective. This can be incredibly disarming. When you approach the situation with empathy, you're not only showing them that you care, but you're also opening up space for them to be heard. Acknowledge their struggles, their challenges, and what they're going through. This doesn't mean excusing disrespectful behavior, but it does create a safe environment for mutual understanding. Finally, consistency is key. Regaining respect doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to rebuild trust and understanding. But the more consistent you are in setting your boundaries, showing empathy, and having honest, open conversations, the more likely your children will start to listen and respond positively. If you're still watching, comment 1 if you're with me so far. Now that we've touched on boundaries and understanding, let's dive into some actionable steps that can really help. One of the most powerful things you can do is approach difficult conversations with calmness and patience. I know, it's not always easy. But think about it: how many times have you raised your voice, only to see the conversation spiral? When you keep your tone steady and calm, your children will be more likely to listen without feeling attacked or defensive. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings, but rather, you approach the conversation from a place of respect, not anger. For example, I remember a conversation with my own child when we had some misunderstandings. Instead of yelling, I took a deep breath and I said, "I really need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me." This gave us both a moment to calm down, and we were able to discuss the situation without the typical frustration. Your children will appreciate the maturity you show in handling tough conversations. Another practical step is finding common ground. Sometimes it's easy to focus on the differences, but when you identify shared goals or values, it can bridge that gap. It could be something simple, like both of you wanting to spend more time together, or it could be about understanding each other's life priorities. Whatever it is, once you find common ground, you can work together as a team rather than as two opposing sides. You might also want to consider offering them guidance without being overbearing. Sometimes your children might not be asking for advice, but that doesn't mean they won't appreciate it when it's offered in a non-judgmental way. For instance, you could say, "I've been through something similar, and here's what helped me." This lets them know you're sharing your wisdom because you care, not because you're trying to control their lives. Remember, these small steps can make a world of difference. They show your children that you're not just there to give advice, but to be an active, compassionate part of their lives. Comment 2 if you're still with me. Let's keep going. All right, now that we've covered some immediate actions, let's talk about long-term strategies that can keep the respect flowing even when life gets busy. One of the most effective ways to maintain respect is to stay involved in their lives without being intrusive. It's all about balance. For example, reach out with a simple text or phone call just to check in, but don't make it a demand on their time. When your children see that you genuinely care about their well-being without expecting anything in return, they'll respect you more. Another important strategy is being open to change. The relationship between you and your children may look different as they get older, and that's okay. The best thing you can do is embrace these changes rather than resist them. This might mean letting them take the lead in family decisions or giving them space to express their opinions. By showing them that you trust them to make their own choices, you're demonstrating respect for them, which often encourages them to respect you in return. Don't forget, self-care is essential too. The more you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, the better equipped you'll be to handle the ups and downs of relationships. When you show that you value yourself, your children will see that they need to value you as well. After all, respect starts with self-respect. Lastly, always remember the importance of being patient. It's easy to want immediate results, but building respect takes time. It's okay to take a step back, reassess the situation, and then try again with a fresh perspective. The process is ongoing, but with consistency and effort, your relationships will strengthen. In summary, regaining respect when your children don't listen is about setting boundaries, showing empathy, and taking actionable steps to improve communication. With patience and a bit of wisdom, you can rebuild those relationships and create a stronger bond with your children. If you made it this far, comment "Done" to let me know. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more tips on living your best life after 60.